Hey guys, my name is April. I go by Ruby Rouge here on the YouTubes, and today I want to do a closet declutter. I want to do this a little bit differently. I've done lots of closet declutters on my channel before. I'll link some playlists. This is going to be like a start to finish explanation of how I do and why I do. So it has the potential to be really long. I'm going to try to keep it interesting and short, but yeah, so I better get started. Two things I want to talk about. This distraction, number one, is I do have a injury on my hand from the kitchen and an avocado, and yeah, I won't go into it, but I do have an injury, and two, it made it really hard to like fix my hair, so it was kept pulling like all the little stray baby hairs out. So I have some hair issues. First thing I'm going to do is, if I know I'm getting ready to declutter, I'm going to wash all my clothes so that I know as much stuff as possible is right here for me to assess. The second thing I'm going to do, we're going to assess our space. So we want to look at our space, and any areas that you find that are uncomfortable, just start removing clothing until it gets comfortable. That way you can count the amount of items that you removed, and it will give you a good number, a good goal to start with. That will help you at least get your closet back to like that nice, easy to use, less cluttered space. And then if you want to take it a little bit further, you should add a few more pieces. So if you took out 10 and it became comfortable, add, like 5 to it. So it gives you a little bit of room to grow for the next time. So step 3 is set a goal. I have found that regardless of how easy the goal might be, even if it's just declutter 2 items, I am so much more likely to reach that goal than if I just, we're gonna do a big declutter and then I get to the closet and I'm like, yeah, I don't really have to do this today. And usually once I get started with a little goal, I'll find more. And it kind of gains momentum. But so just set a goal. So I am gonna take you guys along with me today while I declutter. My goals for this particular declutter are going to be to keep a certain amount of open storage to move things around. I have this dresser. I really like this dresser. I don't have any intentions of getting rid of it at this time, but honestly, I like it to be mostly empty. There is some long-term storage like for clothing in here, but it's also a temporary space for me to hold things in the meantime. Things you might find in here, clothes that my son has outgrown that just need to be sorted into consignment bins, clothes I'm not sure if I want to keep or not, clothes that are out of season for me, gifts sometimes like that I've bought for people and I'm holding until a holiday or whatever, just so much randomness, but I can keep it out of sight, out of mind in here, but I always know where it is. I love having this empty piece of furniture or empty piece of furniture. My other goal that I'm setting is just to keep this neat, orderly, visually kind of pleasing. Obviously, everybody wishes they had like a better closet or a better space or it was prettier or whatever. Do the best with what you have is where I'm going. It's so much easier to keep your house neat and clean if everything has a home, but not only everything has a home, but that home is easy to get things in and out. You don't have to move something to get something out. My next goal is I want to update my wardrobe just to keep things, let go of anything that's past expiration. If it has holes or whatever, faded, worn out, I'll go through that list later. So the next goal I have is to downsize, and that's been a really high priority for me in the past, not so much today, and for 2 reasons. One, I'm kind of entering into a more of a maintenance phase with my clothing. I have slowed down my buying. I don't have as much as I used to, so I don't need to declutter as much as I used to need to declutter. The other thing is the current COVID-19 crisis. It really is triggering a little bit of that sense of uncertainty in me, which I have struggled with in what's called the poverty mindset. So if you're familiar with that, with decluttering, it's just a kind of a sense of anxiety a little bit that you don't really know for sure where the next thing's coming from. So you don't like to get rid of things. So for example, like old clothing is better than no clothing. So I might have this really ugly sweater that it is really comfortable and it keeps me warm, and I don't know if I can go get another sweater like this sweater, that I am in a better place than I used to be. And I got comfortable with that in 2 ways. I'm going to share those ways with you, but one is just a continuous declutter. Not continuous, just a consistent, what's the word I'm looking for? Consistent, small decluttered. And the other way is I actually sat down and crunched some numbers, so that's kind of fun. I'll share those with you when it comes up, but cool way to just actually start to learn, what do you need? Because it's kind of hard to figure out if you don't know. And if you've never sat and crunched numbers and like thought about your patterns and your routines, it's kind of hard to figure out what you actually need. You know, society tells us we need a lot. And as it turns out, we need a lot less than I was ever told I needed or made to think that I needed. I've done many different types of declutters. I've done the KonMari method twice on my channel. That is incredibly time-consuming, difficult declutter, I think, in my opinion. It took me 2 days both times that I did it. This declutter is a lot faster than that one. I've also done other, just kind of me doing whatever I felt like doing, sorting through my stuff, declutters on my channel. So I'll link all that stuff in a playlist in the cards now. This declutter is a little bit different in that it's really gentle and really easy. So I think this will be a lot easier for people to follow, especially people who are kind of new or just in as more of a maintenance. It takes so much less time. This one takes me like 2 hours, whereas KonMari takes days. So it's something you can do on a regular basis. You can do consistently, and I find it to be pretty easy. Pretty mess free as well too. So the way that I go about my declutters, I like to commit to a percentage. So every 9 items I keep, I get rid of 1. So every 1 item I get rid of, I get to keep 9. It's really, really simple. You can work those numbers however you want, but it just makes it really easy. And it also makes your clothes like currency. So like if I'm like, I don't know if I want to keep these leggings, but it's like, if I get rid of these, I get to keep 9 other pairs. So yeah, I might get rid of these. It just makes it a lot of fun. I think it takes a little bit of the stress and the mental stuff out of it. It also is a very low risk. I mean, 10% is not a lot. So it's very unlikely that you're going to declutter something and miss it later. Not big numbers, but it's a really good way to get you some practice in decluttering. If you can commit to regular intervals of this, it creates really, really big change. I counted the items in my closet. There's around 200 items. So in this closet, it would only be like 20 items. But if I did do this declutter every 2 months over the course of a year, I would end up getting rid of 120 items. That's a lot of clothes. Actually, 120 items looks about like this. I mean, that's a lot of clothes. It's these whole 2 sections here. Like, that's a lot of clothes in the course of a year. Another way, obviously, you could go back to that number that I shared with you in the beginning, where you just took out the amount of clothes you needed to make like a comfortable space and then a little extra. All right, so next I'm going to get all my clothing out. We're going to get everything out in certain categories. We're going to group them together. Summer leggings, winter leggings, long sleeve tops, examples. I'll show them all to you. I like decluttering by category, so this way I make sure I'm not getting rid of too many of one type of clothing at one time. This really helps me to keep it even throughout. So as I'm getting everything out, I'm going to get everything out of also my holding drawers that I have. I have a tote in the attic that had a few things in it that I was debating whether or not to keep or get rid of. So I'm going to get all of that stuff that I kind of put to the side. I'm going to go ahead and get it all out in a way that's a little bit of a cheat, because not super really, because I've decluttered it since the last declutter, but you know, it's also, like I said, if we're doing the currency, that's for everything in the tote, I get to keep 9 more items. So, I mean, it's a little bit of a cheat, but not really. But then we're going to sort into piles. Definitely yes, definitely no, and your maybe piles, and your maybe try on pile. I have a little bit of an obsession with Walmart leggings. Yeah, they're incredibly inexpensive and they're incredibly comfortable, and they're my favorite leggings to wear around the house and to work out in. So we're getting rid of those. They're not comfortable. These are uncomfortable. All right, so far, this is my definitely keeping maybes and no's. So now I'm going to count everything and make sure that I have enough currency in my letting go pile to keep what I said I'm keeping. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so I got rid of 3 pairs, right? We have 3 pairs, so we have plenty. I can keep what's in the maybe pile without even having to look at it if I want to. I think what I'm going to do is keep this 1 pair of black ones, and I think it's time to let these go. I think I'm good on these. I don't really like them. They don't flatter me, and I'm good. I have enough that I don't need anymore. All right, so that's one section. Leggings done. Hang them back up. Move on. What kind of things do I get rid of? I like to keep this little cheat sheet. I'll write out a list so that I can reference that list if I'm struggling. Anything stretched out, faded, damaged, peeled, stained. These are the easiest for me. I've usually gotten my money's worth from them at this point. They're usually my most loved and super comfortable items. But I mean, by the time we get to the declutter, I've usually made peace that they really need to go. I forgot to mention that I really like to do this around like a season change. I'm down to that time where I only really need to do 1 declutter per year. So I like to do season change. So like a lot of this stuff I am going to take out and put away right now. This is like heavier sweatpants and long pants that I won't need for the summer. I want to keep, that's the keep pile, this is the maybe pile, and that's the get rid of pile. I can tell I'm incredibly out of balance, but I also forgot to get the stuff in the holding drawer that I have. So let me go get, and in my tote there that I have. So let me get those things out and see where I'm at. So this is kind of a good example of this being a cheat. So all of this stuff was in my holding. I don't think I want any of it. No, like those are incredibly uncomfortable. No, those don't really fit that well. Those didn't fit that well. I might try these on. I had almost 16 pairs of pants just in, that I had picked out throughout the season that I was like, these aren't working for me. Oh, yeah. So technically, because I'm getting rid of 16 pairs of pants, I could keep 144. I don't need that many. I think what really happened here was that I found the Walmart leggings and I just kind of replaced a lot of my old sweatpants that just didn't fit, that I had just been holding on to forever. Just because, so I ended up not wanting to wear those this year. So yeah, and they were a little stretched out from wearing pregnancy and weight changes and different things. So we have a lot of things going. I am going to sort through these a little bit better because I think that there's still some stuff that I want to get rid of. Clothes that don't fit. If you're going to keep clothes that don't fit, try to get them out of your everyday closet and out of the way place. I do actually, I'm still holding on to my pre-pregnancy clothes and I really should let them go. I'm having trouble letting go of the dream that one day I'm going to fit into some of these clothes again. Yeah, I'm just not ready. So, but they're out of my way. I don't look at them every day. I don't have to sort through them ever unless I want to. Clothes you don't wear. I find these to kind of be the hardest because it's like I want to wear these things. I bought these things because I liked them. I bought them because I thought they were cute. And then something happened. They just didn't fit right. They didn't as comfortable as I thought they should be. Sometimes it can be just a bad memory. Somebody can look at you funny. I used to have this shirt that I always wore when I was working, like I just felt kind of bloated or yucky, but it was so flattering. It just had this perfect cut for me. It just fit perfectly. And I was like, this shirt, I always felt good in it. But I started wearing it all the time when I did feel yucky and bloated because of that. And then I started to associate the shirt with feeling yucky and bloated. So then it lost its magic powers and it didn't work anymore. And so I just had to send the shirt to consignment. It didn't work for me. Hopefully somebody else is enjoying it, but I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all because I had just grown to this kind of yucky relationship with it that it just didn't work. Another question I like to ask myself, would I buy it again? How much would I pay for it? So I like this t-shirt I have on. I would probably pay like $3 or $4 for a t-shirt, and that's probably about what this t-shirt would honestly cost me. I like this t-shirt. It's comfortable, it fits, it holds a place, it's blue. I don't know, I just like it. A lot of times I'll pick up a shirt, it kind of helps me assign the value if I didn't say that, but I'll pick up a shirt and I'll be like, yeah, I would pay like $1 for it. And what I realize is when I want to pay so little for something is that it's because it's just holding a place. It's like an extra t-shirt, it's something I have, but yeah, I really don't want it, and it just kind of helps, but do that a few times and you'll see how it helps you assign or realize what you think the value of that is to you. Is it completely out of style, outdated? Is it just not my look? Is it the image that I want to project? I know, your clothing, it is part of your image. It's part of who you are. And if something doesn't fit you or suit you or just doesn't work for you, just let it go if you can. I'm not saying be flippant and just replace your wardrobe every year, but you can, over time, just kind of edit out some things, bring some new things in, and you can really make your wardrobe who you want to be, especially once you figure out you don't really need that much. So can I make an outfit out of it? Do I have all the pieces? If not, am I willing to invest the money in to create that outfit? This is a benefit of doing regular declutters. If you do it, if you say, yeah, I'm going to buy the stuff, and then the next declutter you haven't even started or haven't even tried, just go ahead and get rid of that piece. So I've already mentioned a few reasons why infrequent or small frequent declutters are really beneficial to you. One of the things is that you'll really start to realize that you didn't miss what you got rid of, or if you did, it was very few things. Like I can think of probably over all these years of decluttering, I can think of probably like maybe 2 things that I missed. You'll gain your confidence. Another great thing is that inevitably you're going to hold on to some things that you were on the fence and you promise yourself that you're going to try, but coming back regularly helps you knock that down. So if I keep a couple of pairs of pants and I'm like, I don't ever wear these, but I feel like I should, and then 2 months later I come back and declutter my closet and I'm like, I never wore these. It's like, it's time to go. You start to kind of realize those promises. And then you'll replace that with something else. You'll be like, okay, well, what about the shirt? I never wear this shirt. And then 2 months later, if you didn't wear the shirt, you get rid of it. And it's nice. It really starts to create a really beneficial pattern and you start to really understand your habits. Helps you make better shopping choices. Oh my gosh, my shopping has gotten so much better over the years because you start to realize all the clothes you're just letting go of and you start to realize the patterns. Like online shopping was a really big thing for me because I would buy something online and it just wouldn't fit quite right. And it was too expensive to send back, so I would just keep it, but it would just sit there. So I hardly ever online shop anymore unless it's from certain particular stores that I kind of am more familiar with the sizing. Even then, I'm still very, very hesitant to do it. Okay, so on to the number crunching. This was a really, really cool exercise. I'm gonna look down a lot here. So the example that I'm going to give now is based on when I used to work outside of the home 5 days a week. But in a 31-day month, I had 21 opportunities to wear work clothing. So I like to divide my wardrobe into roughly 3 seasons. And we have the cold weather, like winter, like cold weather. It gets cold here. Then we have like the changing weather, spring and fall. So things like where you need your layers or your lighter sweaters or things like that. And then we have like hot weather. So it gets really, really hot here. Our temperature actually fluctuates over 100 degrees throughout the year. Not in a day, but throughout the year. So like in the winter, it can be below 0 very, very easily. And in the summer, it can be up to around 100 very, very easily. So, in a situation like that, you're going to need more clothes than somebody who lives in a more temperate climate. So in the case, so back to my thing. In 4 months, I had the opportunity to wear work clothing. Let's just use my winter wardrobe. I had the opportunity to wear my winter wardrobe 84 times. Okay, so if I never wanted to wear anything twice, I would have needed 84 outfits. If I only wanted to rewear things one time within the whole season, 4 months, I would need 42 outfits. If I wanted to wear things 3 times, I would need 28 outfits. 4 times, I would need 21 outfits. Okay, I want to stop right here and point out that that would be wearing each thing 1 time per month. So if I had 21 outfits, I would wear 1 time per month. I would wear a total of 4 times a year. So if I wanted to wear my clothes 5 times per season, it would be 16.8 outfits. If I wanted to wear it 6 times per season, it would be 14. 7 times, this would be 12 outfits. And finally, we're gonna get to 8 times. That would be twice per month. And that would be a total of 10.5 outfits. Yeah, that is not a lot of clothing. And I mean, that's only twice per month. That is kind of my base. That's where I like to start my wardrobe every season. And, you know, it can kind of grow from there. But that's sort of my comfort zone. So for me, like my ideal work wardrobe would start at about 8 pairs of pants and 10 to 12 shirts. What happens from there is it gives me the ability to replace things. So if I needed something, if I find something on sale, if I find something that's just too cute to pass up, or even if I just start to get bored, something gets damaged, I just need some variety, but I have that freedom and I don't feel like guilty, or I don't feel like a lack of space because I want to go get like a new shirt. It's a good way to keep things fresh every season while I'm still kind of consistently getting some wear and tear on my clothes. So I'm actually kind of wearing them out. I also have plenty of clothes for wash day. So I know like when I first started decluttering, I would have like 50 to 60 shirts per season. So like I could barely wear the entire one time. Why? Another quick thing I think is important to mention is space. And a lot of people get kind of hung up on this. Don't get overly attached to that purpose. So this dresser that I have, it doesn't have to store clothes. It can store other things. If you really love the dresser, you can put whatever you want in it. Make that detachment. Start trying to detach yourself from what's in a space to being the definition of what has to stay in that space. Look at things as individual items, and you will find that it's a little bit easier to start letting things go, and you'll find that you want to kind of restructure and replan your house a little bit, and it's nice. The next big hurdle I've had when decluttering stuff in the past is what the fuck to do with my stuff? What to do with my stuff? This one's hard because I think as I've become more conscious about things in life, I've never really enjoyed throwing things away, but as I've become more conscious about textile waste and things like that, like I really hate throwing things away now. Like everything I throw away, I feel kind of guilty about, even just like trash. Like I start to feel guilty about it. So definitely a lot of us are getting more into a zero waste mindset, which makes it difficult. It can be really hard. So I recommend before you start decluttering, come up with your game plan of what you're gonna do. What I do is I do consignment sales. We have these little pop-up consignment sales. I've done a video about them on my channel in the past. So I will sort things. Consignment sells like things to be sorted into like spring, summer, fall, winter. They want certain things at specific seasons. So I have a tote for the clothing. I have a spring tote, fall, winter, summer. Mine and my son's clothes go to the same place, so I can, you know, sort them, mine and his, in the same tote. Another, look for recycling programs, textile recycling. There are none that I can find available in my area. The only thing that I could find that I could do for textile recycling would be maybe to buy a it's a TerraCycle box. They were like $100 for a small box. I don't know that I'm gonna be doing that anytime soon, so I really try to upcycle, make rags. I really try to just use the clothing for something. I don't love it. I wish I wish we had a recycling program. We don't even have an H&M. I know H&M does some recycling. Some Goodwills do recycling. Ours does not. So as far as I know, if you guys have any good ideas about what to do with like nasty, like done clothing, let me know. Let us know in the comments, because I think that I'm probably not the only one kind of looking for a solution. Another, I usually have a Goodwill tote just because I like to, kind of the higher end, the bigger ticket items I will take to consignment, but you know, it's nice to kind of just get something out once you do a declutter. So a lot of times I'll have like a smaller box or whatever to take to Goodwill. I know it sounds kind of crappy, like I'm gonna keep all the good stuff for consignment. I've taken so much stuff to Goodwill. Like I take nice stuff too if I don't have time or storage to do consignment. So like I don't feel guilty. I have taken so much stuff to Goodwill, like I'm good. Lastly, you know, I think one of the most important things that comes out of this is just learning to change your shopping habits. As you declutter, you're gonna start to see patterns. Take a minute and look. Once you figure out what you're getting rid of, look at it and see if you notice any like patterns. For me, like I said, mentioned earlier, online shopping, so much of my stuff had came from like Amazon. I was like, yeah, oops. Certain cuts, like really, really tight shirts look terrible on me. And I always end up decluttering them. Certain colors, like I don't like white. I can't launder white properly. It always starts to look dingy. I wear it like one time and that's it. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm just terrible at washing white clothes, but I don't buy white clothes anymore. So I grouped everything into categories based on why I'm getting rid of them. And this is the worn out, faded, stretched, bad shape pile. This pile here is clothes that I once have really liked or enjoyed or bought for something specific, but for whatever reason they just don't work for me anymore. Like they have kind of a bad vibe attached to them or a bad feeling. I just don't like wearing them anymore for whatever reason. Then I have this pile here, and all of the clothes in that pile that I'm getting rid of are fit. They just don't fit right. They're not super comfortable. They're too baggy, too big. Like one shirt that I love in there, the sleeves are just a little bit too short and it drives me insane. So that's all about fit. And then this very last pile over here is going to be fabric. The fabric was weird. It attracted like cat hair or fuzz. Just kind of a weird fabric. So this is a really long video. I'm sorry. I hope that you're still here. Let me know if you have any questions. We'll definitely share before and afters if we haven't already. I hope you guys are all doing well and holding up through this uncertainty that we're in. And I love you guys so much, and just feel that. Take a minute and feel that, you know. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye. I counted, there was like 60, I forgot now. I'm not counting them again right now. I'm tired. There were like 60 items, which is a lot to just be expecting such a little declutter and then to end up with 60 items. I think this just further illustrates the point, you know, the two things that I really did right were declutter throughout the year, because those were the easiest things to get rid of. Because I kept trying things on, and every time I didn't wear it, I was like, you know what, let me put that in that drawer. If I don't reach for it, then it's gonna go when next declutter. So I did that right. And then the other thing